dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle. And let's begin exploring the wine glass. Today, we're diving into a story as rich as the wines it produces. From the halls of hospitals to the vineyard rows, my guest has traded her stethoscope for pruning shears and embarked on a journey of blending passion, family, and the art of winemaking. Joining me is Serena Friedman of Four Sisters Winery, nestled in the east side of Paso Robles. Serena and her family's inspiring leap from the medical field to the wine industry is a tale of passion, creativity, and connection. We'll discuss what it takes to navigate this career shift, how they're making their mark in Paso's vibrant wine scene, and of course, the incredible wines they craft. While you're listening, it would be greatly appreciated if you could take 1 minute to subscribe, rate, and review. It takes only a few seconds of your time, but means so much to the show. Also, please be sure to check the box for automatic downloads so that new episodes of Exploring the Wine Glass show up in your next up feed. The next best way to support Exploring the Wine Glass is to tell your friends. If you enjoy the podcast, your wine-loving friends will too. Follow me on all the socials, and finally, don't forget to head to the website exploringthewineglass.com to read the blog, sign up for the newsletter, and keep up with all happenings. Sláinte! Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, Spanish wine scholar, sommelier service, champagne and Côte d'Aron specialist, and a WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials, as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. Stay in the know about all things wine by visiting my website, exploringthewineglass.com. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Exploring the Wine Glass. Today, I am still in Paso Robles, and I am on the beautiful east side, just over by the Estrella River. And I am sitting down with Serena Friedman of Four Sisters Ranch. So welcome, Serena.
And it's a pleasure to be here with you today and share our experience out here.
Thank you. It is beautiful. We are sitting in the tasting room, and we have like views beyond views beyond views. So quite the sprawling vineyard views we've got here.
The New York Times quote, "The best view of any vineyard in the region."
There you go. Congratulations.
Top views, 360-degree views that complement the wines that are award-winning, world-class wines.
Well, I can see that because it is magnificent out here. And we did do a tour. We'll get into it in a little bit later, but we did a little mini tour before we got started. You have a beautiful event center. I saw a pizza oven. That's my jam. It is really, truly beautiful here. There's outdoor seating, there's indoor seating, there's events. We can do it all here at Four Sisters Ranch.
And we do.
Excellent. So a little bit about the history. You actually started in 1989, but back then you were kind of more like a custom crush. You were making bulk wine and doing labeling for private labels. And so how do you migrate from being a doctor, which I just found Rutgers, yay, Jersey, go Scarlet Knights. How did you transfer from medical to vineyard?
Oh, it's an exciting story. So if we go back 36 years ago, and there were only 34 wineries right out here in the Paso Robles area, we were in the doctor's dining room in Los Angeles, West Hills Hospital, on the staff. My husband and I were both active doctors with practices. But we saw the doctors disappearing. They weren't in the dining room anymore. Well, what happened to Dr. Frankel? Oh, he went to Paso Robles to plant a vineyard. What happened to Dr. O'Neill? Oh, he's planting a vineyard in Paso Robles. So one summer vacation, dragging our boat behind us. We said, we got to see, what's this Paso Robles business? It was an instant love affair. We were shown by the then mayor out here, who was also a realtor and had his own winery, Tom Barron. We were shown how you start with dirt and how it becomes wine. And it was just glorious. 3 hours of mesmerizing descriptions, but taking us to the bare land and seeing every step. And we said, that's it. We're buying land, we're planting grapes, we're making wine. And that's the way it started. A long story of learning from the experts we hired how to start with literally bare dirt, not even a well, not even electricity.
Wow.
And we were across from Tobin James at 46 East, planting our first Cabernet vineyard, which we ultimately sold nothing but grapes. One year, everybody remembers 2005 with all the rain, there were so many grapes we were beyond the capacity of our contracts. And we decided, my goodness, what are we going to do with these grapes? Do we let them fall on the ground, all these extra beautiful grapes? And instead, we went searching because every place was full out here, no capacity. And ultimately, a winemaker, Chris Laurent Jacques, a French winemaker up north, had in their winery capacity to take the grapes and make our first 2005 vintage Cabernet, and then we added Syrah to the 2 wines we were making with an off-site winery, custom crush. And that's how it began.
Wow.
And we learned. We went to UC Davis, co-op classes, hired experts. And by the time we were, into it, a decade later, we were buying extra adjacent property out here, right near the Estrella riverbed, with beautiful sandy loam soil and gorgeous bulk wine that was, how can I say, was by itself 100% cab, was glorious. And we were bottling it in Syrah, and that's how it started. While having medical practices and bringing up the 4 sisters, the 4 daughters,
right,
and going back and forth from Southern California.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. 4 Sisters Ranch, a very unique name, and so you kind of alluded to it. So where does that name come from?
The ladies. So we went ahead and named first. The old ranch had a 120-year-old farmhouse, ranch house, on it at the side of the dry Estrella riverbed, and surrounded by vines and vineyards we had planted. And so we needed a name, and we called it the 4 Sisters Ranch. We have 4 daughters. And then when we finally needed a wine brand name, one of our 3 brands is actually 4 Sisters Ranch.
You have 3 brands. I didn't.
Well, we have Serena's Vineyard, our wedding Cabernet and Syrah brand. And then Red Hat Vineyards, because I'm usually wearing my red hat, which I'll show you in a short while. It's a cowgirl red hat of just a little signature that I've been doing for decades. And, so Red Hat Vineyards, especially our Chardonnay, under that label, and for our international brand in Asia.
Wow.
It's one of our 3 brands there.
Wow. And, talking about Paso and falling in love with it, Paso really has a very diverse terroir. And so what drew you to Paso, specifically the east side?
Well,
because you actually said you started on the west side, right? I mean, you always found the east side because you started across from Tobin James, and now you're beautifully back here.
Interesting question. So a colleague of mine, a neurologist, Dr. Merrill Platzer, had studied geography, and she was an expert, and she told us the day we were coming the first time to visit that this would be the next Napa.
Oh.
And specifically, she had ultimately purchased property on the east side. And so we were directed with Tom Barron, that realtor who had his own winery out here. He was a fireman in LA, and he had fire engine red. So he showed us the east side, where we saw large expanses of land, 160 acres or more, that we could start with. And so we fell in love with it because it was pure and simple. It was in its native state with the trees still there. Oak Creek Vineyard, we named the first vineyard before we acquired Four Sisters Ranch, which ultimately 700 acres with multiple parcels. Although a little much, we've downsized now. We're over more than 233 acres right now.
Just a mere 230.
Well, a little smaller with 8 varietals of grapes on the estate.
See, it's the geologists who know, because Gary Everly has that the geologist's relationship also. And he said the same thing, that when you talk to the geologists, it's all about the east side.
And when we came out here, Gary was one of the people we spent time talking to, and he influenced us so much, along with the Steinbecks. To give us advice, what to plant, how to plant it. It was really camaraderie out here back then.
Yeah,
and now.
I was going to say, and I still think it is now.
We are not dog eat dog. We are help each other, that we all float up on the top of the wave.
Right.
It's a win-win for everybody helping everyone.
Absolutely. And you can't ask for better help, Everly and Steinbeck. Where else do you get it?
And Jerry Lore,
who
knows us well.
Yeah.
For years and years, and we had role models to emulate.
That is wonderful. And so, East Side wineries tend to be seen as the stepchild, the guy, the bad stepchild of Paso. And there's so much excitement here on the East Side and such exceptional wines on the East Side. So why do you think the East Side doesn't get the love that it truly deserves? I mean, it gets it in the ratings, but in people's view, it doesn't get the love it deserves.
Well, I have to preface my comments by sharing a secret.
Okay.
The secret is we not only produce our own wines here, but we sell grapes and bulk wines to not only Napa and Sonoma wineries, but also to the top wineries of the Paso Robles, Templeton area. That proprietary-wise I'm not allowed to name, but you would know every one of them. So they're actually using our bulk wines and grapes and doing well with them. We have the water supply. We still have the sandy loam limestone rich soil. And we have the dry riverbed with the hills and valleys that really change with the microclimates, the taste and color of the wines. We're able to have complex, deeply colored wines, fruit-forward, long-finished wines that are just unique. They're special. And I nothing bad to say about West Side wines, but we're different here.
Right.
And a lot more ability to produce the grapes with the extra water supply that we have. But we use micro drip methods to conserve water. And the reservoirs we can pump at reasonable times when the water won't just evaporate. Right. So we're doing sustainable farming out here.
That is fantastic. And so you mentioned a bit about how you started at over 700 acres and you just downsized to 233. But tell us about the vineyards themselves. When I first came in, you showed me those incredible Tempranillo vines that are head trained, but they're tall head trained. Right. So tell us about how you've, not organized, but realized how vines need to express themselves to give you the best fruit here on the vineyard?
You know, I have a wine called Laughing Vines because my husband said when we would go out at night with the irrigation systems, he would actually have them laughing at him, close to midnight under the stars. But the vines speak for themselves. The Tempranillo does better. Well, higher up we now know is good for frost control. Higher vines do well for frost protection a little higher up. That's one recent finding. The second is we battled the birds with zon guns and alarms for several years. Then we realized to not only protect against the birds getting to grapes, but also protect from sunburn, we could allow a little technique of having a large canopy on one side fall over the top of the Tempranillo, protect the grapes. What happens was, it was beautiful Tempranillo, deep color, intense flavors. The crop increased in availability, and the wine was exquisite, double gold, 95 points recently for that Tempranillo. And you can taste the difference. Mm. So we handpick it. Tempranillo means early, so it's the earliest red we harvest. It is preceded by our orange muscat white grape that is even earlier, just for obvious reasons, one of the earliest ones we harvest. We invite people to come and share in the harvest when we start and be there. Enjoy tasting all of those grapes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for more. You were explaining how at the event center, you open the doors and they walk right out into those vineyards. And then with that Tempranillo being an earlier, ripener and everything, they can just go right out and pick.
First week of September often.
Which is a big wedding time.
And we did have weddings in September, October. Lovely here for weddings, many weddings. Yeah, enjoyable to share that with everyone. And then what else is special about parts of the vineyard? Well, we have Magic Tree and Skeleton Canyon and Mischief Hill.
Oh, what fun names!
Michael's Way wine, which is our blend, our rambunctious blend. I call it the sassy wine. It's a blend of 5 wines, a little Wild West wine. We don't follow the rules. Rhone and Bordeaux varietals is named after Michael, the father of the 4 sisters. But Michael's Way is the only way between the vines to get to the top where Magic Tree is on Mischief Hill.
Magic Tree?
Magic Tree, there's a story. And Magic Tree Cabernet I'd offer you, but it's sold out. You have to wait for our next meeting.
Okay.
A magnificent Cabernet. Yeah.
So what's the story behind Magic Tree?
Well, one year on this beautiful hill that is actually the small Grand Canyon hill on the property, there were 2 trees. Magic Tree at the pinnacle, the top, and under it, another tree. And one year a storm came along, lightning struck, burned to the ground, not Magic Tree, but the tree next to it. And Magic Tree lived yet another year with a red-tailed hawk's nest still in it.
Oh, wow.
And it leans about 15 degrees, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, so you can identify it. And that's where you go with a glass of Michael's Way or Magic Tree Cabernet to see the most magnificent sunset you'll ever see.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, my gosh.
Our secret spot by our Cabernet on what we call the silver property out here. And as compared to the opal property, where there's a beautiful reservoir and Petit Verdot, Grenache, Orange Muscat, Cabernet.
Wow. Do you do tours here of the vineyard?
We do at times when we're not too busy. We can go ahead and do it. We have to prearrange it. People love it.
I'm sure.
My dream is to get the horses back on the property with horse and carriage tours. and I'd love to do that.
Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, we've been thinking about doing it. It's gorgeous. People love to be on the property. There's so many. There's hills and valleys and little stream beds and other places. We have a terraced hill with Malbec at the top and Grenache underneath. Terraced rows of vines.
Wow.
And the Four Sisters trees by Rowboat Hill.
Who came up with all of these names?
We've had a lot of fun with naming things. Skeleton Canyon is the name of one of our red blends, and not all the skeletons are four-legged in Skeleton Canyon.
Oh my goodness. We can go on and on. Oh, is there like Wild Wild West type stories going on here?
There are some stories, but you have to have a glass of wine and be here to hear the stories.
Oh, I think I hear Halloween night, all Ghouls Eve or something that you should do special tastings up
the
there.
owls hooting.
Yes.
We've even had an eagle show up on our fence in an egret.
Oh,
The
wow.
tall white bird, right outside on this lawn.
See, that shows that everything around you is taken care of well because nature comes to nature.
Indeed.
Right? Absolutely.
Including the deer coming to visit the grapes.
Well, yeah. Some not so great. Pretty to look at, but some not so great for the vines. Now, in 2015, you actually opened this tasting room. So it was quite a little time frame between actually making wine and doing all that and deciding to open this tasting room. What made you say, yep, we're going to take that next step and go in this direction?
Well, when we first planted and started making wines to 2015, I actually was going to Asia. I was flying there and introducing our brands to Asia.
Wow.
It's the first label with a woman's image on it in all of mainland China.
Congratulations.
1.4 billion people, and it's my label in 17 cities in China. So I was a little busy with that. But then we decided we needed a real showcase for our wines, a true tasting room. And this property, which is adjacent to my existing property that I already planted and owned, was available, and we were the first people approached. And since the fence was shared with our property, it was just perfect for us to access and learn how to present our wines to the public in this beautiful venue.
It certainly is beautiful. It truly is. And I tell you, what made you go to Asia? I'm just going to go.
Well, no, I knew China was a tremendous market.
Yeah.
That had not really been accessed by California wines and winemakers. And actually, the people in China at that point, when I first went out there, knew virtually nothing about California wines except the name Napa. They'd never heard of Paso Robles.
Right.
So I went out to Yantai in northeast China to the trade show. I was, almost the only California wine with all other countries represented, and we began to introduce what was not accepted because our label did not look like a French chateau.
Oh,
so
right.
Getting people to taste the wine, to understand Paso Robles wines, was quite a challenge. But we sold containers full. I've now shipped 20 containers full to Asia.
Wow.
Hong Kong, China, India.
Good for you.
And also Canada,
Girl power, baby.
Canada, Nashville, the East Coast as well.
And I give you credit because the red tape that it takes to go to all those areas is crazy.
You have no idea. So I've been to 11 cities in China and inside the middle of China to Chengdu.
Wow.
To Wuhan even. I've been there.
Oh my goodness.
And up north, and of course Beijing, into the Forbidden City and the Summer Palace of the Emperor.
Wow.
Was given a special tour.
Kudos,
Shanghai,
man. Total kudos.
Guangdong province and beyond. So the reason is, I thought, here we are buying so much from China. Why can't we sell China something that we're proud of and bring the money back to our country? And,
Yeah.
I'm still doing this.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, in this beautiful environment here, you have the event center. What are some of your favorite events that you've had here?
Oh, our live music, food, fashion show, Vino Valentine, Wine for Paws, a charity fundraiser for the Humane Society. We have our wine festival in May and October, the Harvest Festival. Red wine and blue in July. I'm thinking of all of the fun things with our 2 wine trails. We've had 12 wineries pouring as part of the wine trail event right here on site with a marketplace set up. We had art. I've had the women outside painting right here under our pergola out by the grass. So we're very versatile. And we can do all kinds of things. Line dancing, book signing.
You are very creative.
And more. and dreaming of other things we still have yet to do and complete. But they're coming.
All right. And so let's get to the wine itself. So what would you say is Four Sisters winemaking philosophy? What are you trying to present in a glass?
I want wine for the people at affordable prices, but high-end premium wine, which is created with a passion, handcrafted, artisan, small batch and large batch wines. But the small batch, I take pride in working with my winemaker for hours. We do barrel tastings, we do blends. I'll go out to the patio and let people try 5%, 10%, 15%. What did you like? And then we bring those ideas back and we'll craft that wine. I don't always follow the rules. So our GSM is not a GSM, it's a GSP.
Oh.
So that's Princess Leia, our granddaughter in Hawaii's Hawaiian name. So it's Leia Kule wine. And we have Sachin Bordeaux blend. I don't always make it exactly the same, having made it with the 5 Bordeaux wines for several years. And then we've recently made it with our Cabernet Merlot Petit Verdot, or this time Cabernet Malbec Petit Verdot estate grapes. And we play with the percentages, so it will be unique for each vintage. And we're going to have fun creating it and going out and sharing it as we create it with the people in the tasting room.
Use them as guinea pigs.
Well, I like to say consultants.
There you go.
There are consultants. But my dream was to make it affordable, high-end wine, a wine of the people. There are some are private reserve, Row 121. That's a higher price, limited edition, 97 points, double gold. But most of the ones they're very approachable. Or as Chris Miller, Master Sommelier, said of our Cabernet, he not only said very approachable, food-friendly, and unexpected pleasure. His exact quote.
Very
and
nice.
That's my goal. I like them, but I want them a little different and unique. I want them to cry out. Michael's Way has layers and chapters of flavors, the 5 wines that come through. Sachin is a serious one. That's the Bordeaux. Our Tempranillo is, it's got those deep berry flavors, that little smoky hint in it. No smoke. And Malbec, it has to be extra aged to work. That's just Malbec. And we do give it the extra aging, and then it's unique with its characteristics. The Cabernet, fruit-forward, long finish, complex middle palate. Oh, laughing vines, petite. Wow, it's a wow wine, deep dark colors. For dessert, you could have our Keikoa. Why Keikoa? Our grandson Koa, which means brave and courageous in Hawaii, is Keikoa. It's a double gold, 100% Negrette, port-style wine, aged 6 years in the barrel before I bottled it.
Wow.
It's an OMG wine.
Yeah.
You'll have to taste it and see if you agree with me. Just amazingly elegant port-style wine. Or the more traditional Zin port we have. Or semi-sweet orange muscat, delicate sweetness. And we're going to be introducing that in a few weeks. We're bottling it now.
Oh, all right.
From our state grapes. Sparkling, semi-dry orange muscat. You've never had it before. It's an elegant sparkling wine like none other you've ever had. Of course we have the Viognier, Sauvignon Blanc, and Chardonnay, but it's a little
like twists and curves, right?
Sparkling rosé.
Yeah. What is the rosé?
So
what is this
rosé? Is, I
rosé?
must confess, a sourced wine,
Okay.
and that is a California sparkling rosé. We've made our own Grenache rosé, but it sells out too quickly, so I have to make it again.
Okay.
And it'll come back.
So is the sparkling also a Grenache?
The sparkling that we have is a rosé. We were sold out on our Brut. We'll bring it back again, and the sparkling orange muscat.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And you have mentioned some of the awards that you've received, but just most recently a double gold in the Sunset, a platinum 94 points in the San Diego Challenge. And let's talk about some of these.
Enthusiast gave us 91 points on my cab.
There you
But that cab I recreated as Opalescence. That's the name, and it has Malbec in it.
Oh, okay.
I recreated. It hasn't been scored
yet.
Well, the previous one was 94 points. Let me correct myself. But I haven't scored the new one, which is in the tasting menu.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Looking to be in the know about Dracaena wines? Want to be the first to know about our new releases and special offers? All you need to do is sign up for our newsletter. There is no commitment necessary, and I promise you we won't spam your mailbox with loads of messages. Need another reason to sign up? Quite possibly the best reason? You'll immediately get a discount code for 10% off your first purchase and be privy to newsletter-only discounts. Let Dracaena Wines turn your moments into great memories. Visit our website, www.dracaenawines.com, or use the link in show notes to sign up. It will take you less than a minute, but the rewards will last a lifetime. All right, so the wine I have in my glass is Michael's Way, and you talked about it a bit, but tell us exactly what is in here. It's Cab and Syrah, and so why these two together?
Well, not only Cab and Syrah, it's a blend of 5 wines. It's our wild card wine.
Oh.
So we made it differently in years past, and this one even has a little zin in it. It has the Cab Syrah,
Syrah.
has Grenache in it too.
It's got a nose that just goes. It's like
so different.
I'm like an arm away, and I can smell the beautiful aromatics.
Yeah, I allowed my winemaker to go and play with the wine, and this is what he created. Now, since I spoke about what the winemaker has done, the new in the barrel, about to be bottled in March, the new reserve is even different than row 121 Cabernet.
Oh, okay.
I go out and taste the best block. That was the hillside block of grapes. And then I taste the best 12 rows. We pick the best 3 rows for that reserve.
Oh, okay.
But going forward, we wanted to outdo ourselves. That's hard to do. I was allowed the privilege of tasting the 2017 privately made Cabernet of my winemaker. I recreated it by buying from the same forest, the same 2 barrels.
Oh,
We're only
wow.
making 3 barrels per vintage. And we just tasted the first bottle of it, bottled in July. So it's only 4.5, 5 months old. Magnificent. The oak enhancement, new 2/3 new oak, and my grapes from the estate. It's just going to be an incredulous, silky, smooth, yet
I'm salivating.
and intense flavor is coming. It's still bottle aging, but I
that's
allow you to taste it. Maybe on a different occasion when it's a month or 2 old.
okay. That, it's very interesting because a lot of people who do like select wines or whatever, they're keeping blocks separate, but then they're picking the best of the barrels. You're in the vineyard picking the best of the grapes. So
and in years past we did do best barrels. We're trying to reinvent ourselves.
it's more fun doing the best in the vineyard.
Oh God, it was so much fun. We'd go out, and actually we'd go out the day before we hand harvested those rows.
Okay.
And now I'm going to be finding new rows in younger vines, 12, now it'll be 13-year-old vines. I'm going to discover the hill I like the best in the vineyard. You can come with me when we're doing the
Yeah. Please, I would love it.
Before
Absolutely.
the harvest, I'll pick my rows.
All right.
Reserving it.
Excellent. And so I just poured myself a little bit of the Kenya, which is spelt differently. So tell us the story behind Kenya.
Well, we have Elizabeth and Salvador. Salvador is in charge of the vineyards and is just a remarkable person to have employed for decades. When Elizabeth started, she was our best tractor driver and knows the vineyards inside out. But I invited her to come to the tasting room years ago and see what she could do helping us in the tasting room. It was marvelous. So they are employees of decades. Their daughter is named Kenya. And I saw her from a little child to now grown up, and this month going into the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
And so I named this wine as a special tribute in honor of their family that has been so helpful and knows everything about our wines and vineyards and is here all the time with a smile and friendliness. We have a very welcoming attitude here. Small town charm, like the old Paso was when we arrived here.
Yeah. What a tribute. And I think that goes to show the kind of person, kindness, the heart you have towards the people who are involved in your winery. And that extends, it's not only just to the people, it's to the vines. You really care for the vines. You care for the people. You understand that this is a community really making your stellar wines.
Right. We have to support one another and make also the experience enjoyable. I actually think it's a healthful experience with a lot of cardiovascular protection for drinking red wine. I'm putting on my medical hat. But Kenya is Grenache with Syrah.
Okay.
And it's just recently bottled, but yet it is bold, complex. I would say the perfect holiday meal wine because spicy, full-bodied foods would go with this wine that, as it bottle ages, will become full-bodied. It's a young wine at this moment. It was only bottled in January, but it's coming of age very quickly. And I let people taste it. Easy to drink, right?
Yeah, and I can totally see a holiday thing. A little late, but Thanksgiving would have been incredible with this.
We brought it out on the counter for Thanksgiving and let people try it. And we, the response was, this is great, but it's a little young.
Right.
And I concur that
Right.
it was all, I like bottle aging after barrel aging. So
Right.
some of our wines are a few years older vintages,
Right.
more
Complex. Absolutely. It's beautiful. Now, to kind of go back to the east side and giving some love to the east side, as wonderful as this place is, there's always challenges. So what are some challenges that you've had to jump over in the years that from when you started to
Did
now?
I start with the birds?
Well, the birds. Always the birds.
The frost, the wind. We lost 50% of our Cabernet when wind came at the time of fertilization.
Oh,
the formation of
the
the
worst
grapes,
time.
50% of cab loss was amazing. And then it was followed by a frost at the wrong time. And that's happened a few times. We've been safe from smoke damage, I'm happy to say, and hence we sold grapes to Napa to replace their lost grapes. But we do have the elements to deal with. And you can imagine that it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Frost in April and late April is, no one expects it.
Right. And there's nothing you can do.
You deal with it.
Yeah, you just kind of turn around and move on.
10 days of heat, 108 degrees plus, 10 days in a row, and no time to harvest because the grapes have to mature, but they're shut down when there's too much heat.
Right.
So we were in a bind, in a complex situation. How do you pick all the grapes ready at the same time, but delayed in being ready in a heat wave?
Right.
So it affected the grapes. However, 30% loss of the crop load, but the grapes may be magnificent.
Quality. Yeah.
When you stress a grape, it can improve the skin, actually thicken the skin, deepen the color. So I'm putting on my medical hat. So we have more polyphenols, antioxidants, flavonoids, catechins, proanthocyanidins. What does all that mean? Your arteries love it.
Yes. Yeah.
32% reduction in cardiovascular risk, less heart attacks and strokes. That was published by the British Medical Journal some years ago in their studies. And we do it in conjunction, if I may speak about the polymeal diet, people taking cold water fish oils, dark chocolate. We also advocate for almonds. We all know the benefits of green tea and a high fiber diet, the Mediterranean diet.
Right.
76% reduction when you put it all together.
Well, I'm all for the wine, the dark chocolate, and the almonds.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Don't forget the fish oils.
I don't do fish, so I'll skip that one out. But
Pill. Cold water fish oil, as long as it's mercury free.
Free. Yes, mercury free is pretty important.
Yeah.
That will just destroy anything else, any health benefit.
Let me clarify. In moderation, a glass of red wine a day for women, 1.5 glasses for men. Increased longevity, 8 more years for men, 7 more years for women on that regimen by medical studies. I want to put in my 2 cents for the health benefits of wine.
Yes.
In moderation.
In moderation, yes. And so you also offer Harvest Hopper.
Harvest Host.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought, is that different than Harvest Host?
Harvest Host is a membership only. It's a low-cost yearly membership, so members can come here to stay in a beautiful area by the Cabernet or the Tempranillo in self-contained RV vehicles where we don't provide services, but we provide a stay for them, and then they can enjoy the wine, sit on our lawn chairs, watch the sunset. They don't have to worry about driving anywhere, and they enjoy the ambiance, the owls hooting, the stars, the
Oh
moon.
my gosh, I bet the stars are magnificent.
No street lights here.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. Sunsets are magnificent. And they're here on the grounds walking around and just enjoying it. We're dog friendly. And daytime we have children here also, family friendly. So we provide that program to the community, and people are loving it. And we're halfway between San Francisco and LA, so it's the perfect stopping place to come out. And the Pleasant Valley Wine Trail with 12 wineries, all minutes away from us. They can go in every direction and taste other wines and make a couple of days of it.
Right. Yeah. See, it's almost like you were reading my mind. I just was going to ask about the Pleasant Valley Trail, and you...
You know, these are mostly unknown wineries with award-winning wines, gorgeous views from every single spot, mostly family-owned, so they have their own artisan wines, much like us, that you're not going to find everywhere. It's a unique experience. The winemaker would come right out and pour you the wine, or you might do a barrel tasting. You know, we're like no other place. Frozen in time, no traffic jams, clean air, gorgeous views. I mean, it's small town friendliness and charm.
And you had mentioned that you've done events for the Pleasant Valley Trail here at your event center. Is that a public thing? Can people...
We're open to the public. 2 wine trails. The 46 East Wine Trail, 20 wineries pouring here, and marketplace and fashion shows as live music and food as part of those events with all the wine tasting, and the 12 wineries for the Pleasant Valley Wine Trail. So everyone brings 2 or 3 wines, everyone can taste. We got 30, 40 wines to taste.
And you've got plenty of room for people to park.
Oh, large parking on the same level as our event center.
Right.
So they can just walk out of their cars a few steps to the event center and the winery and walk around, play bocce ball or horseshoes. And we have a lot of fun. There's pizza oven, as you said, right here. So we had chefs here and food trucks and different events.
Okay. When somebody comes here for a tasting, walk us through. 1, do they need a reservation?
No.
Okay. Well, that was easy. No.
Except for large groups, as you might expect.
Right.
Because we have to set up the seating if they want. We can accommodate 200, 300 people here if we have. But, sometimes people want 20, 30 people sitting together.
Right.
They need to call us and let us know.
Right. Yeah. I laugh.
They can walk in, we'll try and make it happen.
I do laugh because I hear people complain about wineries. They're like, we walked in, there was nobody there, and they didn't serve us or whatever. And, there were 30 of us. Okay, well, think of it from the winery way, right? From the winery side. 30 people, one person, if you only have one person working in the tasting room, they're going to be over consumed by that 30 people. Now you can't handle anybody else who comes in. So yes, so if you have a large number of people, it's a courtesy.
Call ahead, especially if they know days in advance. Yes. But we have walk-ins. We have an area under the pergola, like I said, by the grass. We have patios where we put tables together, lawn chairs. People love it with this gorgeous hilltop view in every direction. Just beautiful hills and vineyards. And, oh, God. It's fun.
Walk us through, if somebody comes in for a tasting, what is your tasting fee? What do they get? How do they walk us through a tasting?
So someone coming in will be delighted to find that we will have 5 to 7 wines for them to taste, depending on who's the driver. 5 wines on the menu, but we usually add some courtesy, like a sparkling wine or a dessert wine. That's our treat, to at least one or 2 whites and at least 4 to 5 reds. We start with the softer reds, lighter reds, and go to the bold, robust, full-bodied reds followed in the end by an interesting dessert wine if they want it. We have a fee of $20 per person waived with the purchase of 2 bottles of wine. We do have wine club privileges, as you might expect, of no tasting fee, 4 free tastings per visit, and then pick-up parties and other bells and whistles. When groups are larger, 8 or more, though, we modify the fees a little bit,
Okay.
and because of the extra personnel,
Okay.
and don't waive the wine fee. But we can speak to people if they call ahead. We make it fun. Everyone leaves with a smile. My staff are super friendly. We don't have time limits.
Okay.
You can stay as long as you like till we close. And you can, we're not strictly flexible. If you're a few minutes late, that's fine.
Maybe they drove past the road, right? Drove past the driveway.
Yeah.
They're staring at all the beautiful vineyards and missed the turn.
Life is too short to get in a tizzy about
Right.
anything but having fun, enjoying the ambiance and the wines. And we're Paso. We're not Napa.
There you go. And what are your hours here?
So we do by appointment Mondays and Tuesdays, but all the other days, 11 to 5. In the summertime, later on Friday night or Saturday night. We don't close till the last person's
Okay. And concerts and things like
we
that?
have multiple events throughout the year with live music and people in the tasting room, sometimes single musicians, sometimes bands, and fun. We did some dancing, like I mentioned, line dancing and other events where we do contests and have fun. You have to check with us. We do also charity events, Toys for Tots, and our food drive, as you might expect, in November as part of our contributions to the community. August, our Estrella Under the Stars dinner, which is a 4-course, at least 24 to 30 wine tastings, live music charity event. You have to buy the tickets, they sell out.
Yeah, they do. That's a very popular event.
Yeah, we do it at Hartley Farms, and it's just, everyone loves it. So we've raised like $10,000 checks for charities that are local.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And so what do you think is the most rewarding part of being in the wine industry or in your wine journey?
I want to create memorable wines like no other. Okay. I don't want to follow the rules either.
There you go.
We're the Wild West. And I think the best award is not some accolade or medal. It's the smile on people's faces when they experience it. It's just unique, enjoyable wine. They have fun. And it doesn't matter what score a wine made. It's that they're going to take home that joy and keep on enjoying it. I love it.
Absolutely.
And we teach them a little bit about winemaking and the grapes and our love for the vineyards and our land.
Well, that passion definitely comes through. I mean, you have a massive smile on your face. You can see the love. You can see the passion in your eyes. This is where you belong.
The best part is doing blending in the glass right here or on the patio, where I have people, I say, here's the Cabernet. Now, once you taste it, here's the Petit Verdot. All right, I'm going to put 5%, 10%. I want you two to taste it. Now what happens? Oh my God, it's a new wine. It transformed it. And I'll say you can feel that mouthfeel that you didn't have before. And look at the color transformation. Okay, now we're going to add a little Malbec to it, right in front of them, in the glass, right here. And they enjoy it.
Right.
I love doing that.
Yay. And so how do people find you?
How do they find us? FOUR, F-O-U-R, sistersranch.com. FourSistersRanch.com. Our 4 daughters, remember the 4 sisters. And if you come on by, we'll share their photos and all the grandchildren. We got little
On the fireplace
and the
mantle.
4-month-old Zelda. I'm creating a new wine. Atticus got Little Red Wagon. It's our new red blend. We're going to introduce it soon.
Okay.
And that one is in honor of his mom. Our youngest daughter was pulled around in that little red wagon and, as a child with her doll Fluffy.
Aww.
So Little Red Wagon is now the name for Atticus, our grandson's. I have to create a new one for Zelda.
Okay.
It's about to happen.
And you just redesigned your whole website at Four Sisters Ranch.
Oh,
So it's beautiful pictures and gives you the nice story and all of that. And social media, you
I've
are...
seen people posting pictures, and someone showed me Yelp with all these photos that I didn't even know were there.
Yes. And see, that's the pleasant surprise, right? That just means that people are enjoying their time with you.
Yeah, and the brides have come back for their 1-year anniversaries.
Oh, how wonderful.
Which, that's really exciting to see, and all the memories captured. So I know they posted photos.
Right.
We've done many, many weddings and anniversaries here. Oh gosh. We've had even in industry events and corporate events here in the event center with wine tasting as well.
Wonderful. Well, Serena, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing your story with me. I know my listeners are going to absolutely love the conversation. And when they come to Paso, Four Sisters Ranch is going to be on their itinerary.
Tell them literally minutes from Paso Robles Airport. Easy to find, but gorgeous scenery.
All right. Beautiful. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
And I always end with slancha.
And a little bit of wine in my glass now.
Slancha.
Here we go.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wine Glass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wine Glass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt-Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com and sign up for my newsletter at exploringthewineglass.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Podcast music is Wine by Kevins. Until next week, slancha.
No, never let you go. No, never let you go. I want a nice glass right now.